Right, so you guys wanted to know more about what's going on with Pete Alonso and the Mets.
Third, even though Ortiz is deep. Nimmo leads from first. 3-1 to Alonso. Williams sets. Here's the pitch. Swinging a fly ball to right field. Pretty well hit. Freeland back at the wall. He jumps. It's gone. He did it. He did it. Pete Alonso with the most memorable home run of his career. Pumps his fist as he rounds second. It's a 3-run homer. He's given the Mets a 3-2 lead. They all pour out of the dugout. Alonso on his way to home plate. They're waiting for him. He hits the plate. He is first congratulated by Nimmo, hugged by Lindor. There are a dozen Mets waiting for him outside the dugout. Pete Alonso keeps this fairy tale season going with the fairy tale swing of his career. 3-2 New York.
Yeah, it's a really interesting one.
It is, and we've been following it pretty closely and talking to some folks in the know and
close to the situation.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's going to be a wild ride. So let's get into it.
Yeah, buckle up.
Okay. So first things first, Alonso wants to stay in New York.
Wants to be a Met for life.
Yeah, but he wants that long-term deal, right? I mean, we're talking like 6 years at least.
At least, yeah. He's looking for that security, and who can blame him? He's been their guy.
Yeah, he's been a cornerstone of that lineup.
Exactly. Those back-to-back 40-homer seasons.
He was crushing it.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of power is...
like must-see TV.
Yeah. And, the Mets know that they know what he brings to the table.
But they're hesitant to commit.
Right. And, you can understand their side, too. I mean, 2024 wasn't exactly his best year.
Definitely a down year.
Yeah. His numbers were down across the board, average OPS, home runs, RBIs.
Yeah, it wasn't the polar bear we're used to seeing.
Right. And, the Mets are probably using that as leverage.
Oh, for sure.
Like, hey, look, we love you, Pete, but you got to come down a little bit.
Right. They're in a tough spot, too. They got to think about the future of the franchise.
Exactly.
So what are they thinking? I mean, what kind of counteroffer are we looking at?
Well, the word on the street is they're leaning towards a shorter deal.
Like 3 years, 4 years?
Yeah, something like that, but with some juicy opt-out clauses.
So that gives Alonso some options.
Exactly. He could bet on himself, have a couple of monster seasons, and then...
hit free agency again.
Exactly, and try to land that mega deal.
And the Mets, they're protected if he doesn't bounce back.
Right. It's a way to mitigate their risk.
It's a high-stakes game for both sides.
Absolutely, and the fans are caught in the middle.
They want their polar bear back.
They want to see him mashing dingers at Citi Field for years to come.
So what do you think? What's the best-case scenario here?
It's tough to say. I mean, if Alonso signs that shorter deal with the opt-outs, he's got a chance to prove himself again, earn that big payday. But if he bets on himself and it doesn't pan out...
then what?
Well, then he might be looking at a much smaller contract down the line.
And the Mets... they've got to weigh their options, too.
Yeah. They can't afford to overpay for past performance, but they also don't want to lose a franchise cornerstone.
And let's be real. Replacing that kind of power is not easy.
It's not. You just don't find guys who can consistently hit 40-plus homers every year.
So Mets fans, I got to ask you, what do you think should happen? Should the Mets give Alonso that long-term deal? Or should they try to lock him up with a shorter contract with those opt-outs? Or do they risk letting him walk?
Because if he hits free agency, there are going to be a lot of teams lining up to sign him.
Oh, yeah, he'll have his pick of the litter.
And the Mets, they could be left scrambling to fill a massive hole in their lineup.
This could be a fascinating story to follow.
It is. Keep your eyes peeled because this one could go down to the wire.
We'll be back with more updates as this situation unfolds, so stay tuned.
Yeah, this is one you won't want to miss.
And until next time, keep swinging for the fences, folks.
See you later.
Bye.